Good day, everybody. Welcome to Resin Art Studio. Today I'm going to do something different. A very lovely lady has asked me to do an autumn or a fall rather kind of color scheme painting. So I decided to do a landscape. Now let's see how we go with it. I'm actually going to be using a brush, and I've got a little bit of alcohol, just isopropyl alcohol in there to clean my brush. I'm going to be using one brush. I have never done this with resin. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain freeze there. Just thinking ideas. So it's definitely a first for me. So I'm just filling up these cups with a little bit of resin, and then we're going to get started. It's going to be quite interesting, I think. The colors that I will be using today, of course, are all the res colors. Some of them are matte, some of them are going to be metallic, but they're all going to be fall colors. Some of them are already available in the store and some are not, so not yet. So just keep an eye open. I just have these colors available and I want to use them. So let's get cracking. I'm going to need a really nice brown. And I'm going to need, a nice brown, which I have over here. It's not been bottled yet, so I've just got a little bit, about 10% going in there. So just quickly to run you through the colors first, and then I'll mix so I don't waste any time. I've got a gorgeous red copper here, which is also going in there. Then I have a beautiful red gold. Look at that red. Okay, that's a bit too much, but we will be needing quite a bit of it, and I can always add some more that can go in there. A beautiful golden purple. Just thinking of the autumn leaves, you know, things like that, which are, you get all these colors. A little bit of that one. A little bit of molten gold. Most of you know about the famous molten gold bit in there, and some sassy red, sexy sassy red. Some of that going in there as well. Okay, so I'm going to just move these out of the way for now. Oh, and I've got a green as well and a burnt orange. So let's get a couple more cups. Now I could even mix some. I've got a little palette here, you can see it, just a little plastic plate, and mix some resin and you know, the pigments in there with it. That, you know, I could do that as well. That would probably be easier for me to do that, but just for this purpose, let's just carry on and do it this way. Let me just scoop up some of this. Twirl it. Check it out. Beautiful burnt orange right in there, and a little bit of resin, like that. Just making sure it's about 10% in there. And I've got a really gorgeous green. This green is it's like an olive green, but it's a metallic, and it's quite shimmery, and it looks like a bit like, you know, racing car green. Quite pretty. So that's a new shade of metallics that will go into the store next week possibly. So I'm just going to mix these, and then I'll come back and I'll get started. Okay, so I've mixed all my colors, and I've been mixing really fast because I don't have a lot of time. And I've added a little bit of white because I'm going to need a little bit for the sky, and a tiny little bit of sapphire blue, just a tiny little bit to make it really transparent to go with it. You can see there's only like not even maybe 10 drops in there. So I've got them all ready Gonna put them all over here, so I've got them handy. Got to be very, very organized. Actually, I might just put them down here so I can see what I'm picking. Got to be super organized when you're doing these kinds of things. And like I said, this is the first for me, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. And if it starts to go south, I'm going to have to improvise, because I'll be buggered if I'm going to let a painting go to waste. So I'll make sure that I save it. I've got a little bit of resin left here, just for Ron, you never know. Right, so I'm going to start with this white actually, and I'm going to pour it just over here, the whole thing. That's the only place where I'm going to be using the white, and it might even get covered afterwards with all the other colors. I don't know, but we will see what we will see, won't we? This is so exciting. That the white is done. I'm going to use my fingers just to spread that. Just need a little bit. Maybe go down here a bit. I don't have a picture or a painting or some sort of a visual thing to go by. I'm just going to wing it as I do. I've done many seascapes and landscapes in the past with acrylic paints as well as the oil paints, so I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. A little bit of blue, just going to add a bit there kind of, and just merge them, get them to create a bit of a sky kind of look. And it's so shiny, I'm having trouble seeing what I'm doing, so I may need to stand up for this one. Like that. And I can also, won't need any more because it's going to be too blue otherwise. Now I could have mixed the blue and the white together, but then I wouldn't have this kind of different shading. You don't get a perfect kind of sky. Well, you do on a perfect day, I suppose, but I like a bit of texture and a bit of movement happening, so that's what I'm doing. That's that. Oh my gosh, now it's getting exciting. Let's start with the brown. I'm going to start with the brown, and I'm not pouring this one, just gonna dip my brush into my alcohol here, just to kind of soften it a little bit. And let's go with some, maybe we can do, oh, this looks quite transparent doing it this way, doesn't it? That's alright, got plenty to go over. Doing some hills and things, and then I might oh, that alcohol, you can really smell it. I'm going to get knocked out by the end of this video. Hooly dooly. Just had a little bit of green there, which I had to get rid of. So this is just what I'm doing, dabbing. It's quite different. Just a bit of mountains kind of happening there in the distance. With that blue, I could even just put a bit of water there, like a lake. Let's just see what happens. You also have to have your table super leveled for this. But like I said, I don't know, have no clue how it's going to work out. And if anybody has done, you know, more like realistic paintings with resin, please let me know what you think and where I've gone wrong and what I can do to improve. It's all about improvement, isn't it? Okay, so there's that. This is quite a beautiful brown, but I need it to be a little bit darker, so I will add a little bit of black to it. Scrape off, and then just clean my brush here and wipe it over here, and it's clean. Right, so need a little bit of black. Oh, look at that. Just so handy. I've got black right here, so I'm going to get a clean little stick. Get a better stick, I think, for this. Tiny little bit, don't need a lot. And another little cup. This is called improvising. Just going to pour it in there, bit of that brown, and then I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to add a little bit of resin in here, just because of the ratio, just to make sure that that is nice and dark now. So now you can see I've got a really pretty darker brown, and I can add more brown to it to tone it down, but this is going to be okay. It's kind of like a greyish brown now. I'm going to add some, actually no, I'll leave it like that. So what I want to do now is I might just this is going to be really interesting because it's going to kind of want to move and stuff. Where's that blue? Let's use the blue to create a bit of a lake over here. Not sure if I got enough, so let's just spread that around. The blue is much thicker than that brown. How exciting is this? Wow. It's definitely going to be an abstract. But there's nothing wrong with abstract. Just think of all the famous artists who did abstract work, abstract landscape, abstract, you know, portraits and things like that. Just dabbing now, just to create some kind of a movement there. Might even get a little bit of this alcohol and just go over it like this. This will definitely need another coat of clear. Beautiful. Okay, so that's that. Clean my brush again in my alcohol here, and then wipe it clean. And I might just start, actually I'll go a little bit higher with the brown. Oops, that's the wrong one. Just going to pour it now. Okay. I'm going to need a little bit of height here. I'm just pulling that down a bit. And then we're going to add some trees. This is why I needed a darker brown for the trunks and the branches. So just give it a little bit of texture now. It's all moving and it'll all kind of work out well. Fingers crossed. And toes crossed as well. So I'm creating a little bit of bubbles now because I'm doing this kind of dabbing stuff. Try to get as much of that paint off as possible. Don't need to clean my brush now because I'm going to be using the same kind of shade, which is this brown, dark brown. So let's go. Probably should have had a little bit of more sky there, but I don't want too much movement. Let's do that. Let me clean this brush really well. This is going to be quite interesting. Because the brush is getting a little bit dirty now. I got my wipe, which is letting me know if it's clean or not because it's white. Right. Okay, got a bit of clear left here. What I'll do is, I've already got a white background, just going to pour this right over whatever I've got left. This is what I'm saying when I say improvising. This is what I mean, rather. I'm improvising now. So I do quite a bit of that in my paintings. You just have to go with it. It's really hard to learn art. You just have to do it, and I've never had any lessons. I've actually never had any resin kind of lessons either, or any art lessons. Not saying that, you know, you don't do that. By all means, do it if you can. I just could never afford them. And I was always a doer, you know. I always like to get into it and learn. And the thing is, I've made so many mistakes, but you learn by making these mistakes, you know. That's the name of the game, I think. That's how you learn. And you also learn by watching other people make mistakes. So you can see here that my brush wasn't perfectly clean, but I'm adding some really interesting sky here, because this could be like a bit of storm brewing there, and something's gonna happen. So it's all good. That's what you do. And this kind of movement is good also because I'm pushing down the brush and getting as much of that resin out as possible, and just moving it around, really. I'm not going to go too close to this brown because I want it to sit there for the moment, and a lot of that is going to be covered with trees and different colors and things. Might just dip a little bit of this in my blue. Here it is. I've just got a teeny little bit left, and that's all I need. Crisscrossy movements creates nice effects. And oh God, I hope I've got enough memory in my camera to last this whole video, because I know I won't have time to muck around with deleting things. Fingers crossed again. Okay, so that's looking quite cool. And a little bit more of this white. I've only got a tiny bit left. Just going to scrape up whatever I've got and just add that to it as well. So at this stage, I could leave this and let it set and then do the trees afterwards. But I've already got so much resin mixed, so I'm just going to go ahead and just go with it. If you're doing this, you could stop here, let it set and dry perfectly, and then go ahead and add the rest of your design onto your painting. But I'm just going to go with it. This is going to be an abstract. Just got to kind of, and you can use your hands here now just to kind of soften those areas, or you can just go like this. I'm barely touching the canvas, and just might even add teeny weeny little bit, just a little drop of that dark brown, which is kind of mixed with that blue, and the white looks a bit darkish, so it looks like a bit of a cloudy, stormy thing happening up there. And then lightly pulling, and that's that. Clean my brush now. Clean it real well. This is already starting to move a little bit, so I'm just going to help it. Don't want to have that line there. Okay. Might go with the different coloured, I've got so many gorgeous colours here, and then add the branches afterwards. So I'm going to be covering a lot of this sky with these colours. So I'm going to start with, what am I going to start with is a good question. Let's start with the green. Actually no, we're going to start with the light colours and then go with the darker ones. So I've got this gorgeous burnt orange, and I'm just going to be dabbing. This is going to be trees, you know, so a lot of this is going to be covered. So we're going there, bit over here is another tree, some in the distance over there. More here. Just going to keep going like that. Wow, what a gorgeous, gorgeous burnt orange. Okay, that one is done, so let's get out of that. Okay, let's go with the sassy red now. A little bit. Just gives a bit of extra something. Excuse me. Some here, some more. You know, you can't make it perfect. You know, perfectly equal, and nature's not like that anyway. So that one is done as well. Let's go with this gorgeous kind of a golden red, just adding bits and pieces, little drops here and there. You can use a pipette. It just it's too slow for me. Gotta go fast. Although resin's been kind to me, and it allows me to work for a long, long time. Some of it going down there. That one's done. Okay, let's go with this gorgeous, gorgeous, what colour is it? Oh yeah, this is the red copper. Yep, they do look like they are kind of blending together, but they're not. They're just merging, and you can still see each colour. And a little bit of this golden purple. Don't want too much of that. Just a bit here and there. Because once this sets, it's going to look amazing. Hopefully. You never know. So some will have more of the purple, some will have less. Okay, that one is done now. Good to clean the brush after these metallics, so you don't get a metallic on your solid color. Alright, so now I've got this gorgeous green. It needs to get there in amongst it all. It just kind of sits on top there. Look at that. Oh, one drop perfectly landed there. Just adding it a bit everywhere. While I'm doing this, I might mention that I was notified this morning that one of my videos was edited and uploaded on another channel. So I went and contacted them, asking them to take it off, you know, it doesn't belong to them, and I haven't heard anything, so I reported it to YouTube and see what happens next. But I made sure to kind of let everybody in the groups know, all the groups that I'm a member of. I'll let them know about it so that, you know, you guys can keep an eye on this person. The channel is called IMEL YT. It's spelled IMEL and then just a YT. There's not a lot of, it's only like 18 subscribers, so it must be really new, but it's still not on. And this person may not know that they're doing something wrong, so I don't know. Just going in with the molten gold now. Got to be careful because he tends to take over. Yeah, this person may not know. You know, the photo just shows like she's a fairly young woman. Maybe she doesn't know, but she needs to know that you can't do things like that. So keep an eye open and let each other know. I was just lucky that a really kind person saw it and recognized my artwork and let me know. Because when you're watching a video, you can't tell whose video it is. There's no, you know, sound, there's no voice, there's no information on it. So I'll be definitely changing the way I post my videos now, and every now and then maybe throw in some writing or something like that, copyright stuff. It's just not on. Not nice. Okay, so here we go. That is looking quite interesting now. It's lovely. It's not moving. I won't put a lot of this gold in there because somehow, you know, gold and yellows and reds and greens, they just remind me so much of autumn. So I might just kind of go everywhere a little bit now, spread it out. This worked out well, so it was like a bit of a test, and now I can just go ahead and just go and do some more in the background, kind of the distant trees in the distance, and then go with more. So far so good. So far so good. And what colors? Okay, let's just go, oh, that's that brown. Let's go a little bit with this, just over the top of it. Some of them are quite transparent and some of them are opaque, so you can see when you're dabbing like this what kind of pops up and what, you know, drops down. Either way, they create really nice effects. So let's go with this purple gold. Can't see it up there, but it's a really pretty purple with some golden specks going through it. And yeah, just keep going like this. It's a bit fiddly, and if it's not your thing, no worries, just do your own thing. I quite like it. I like to fiddle. That green is just gorgeous. go around and add some more green in between. Some green in between. Tell you what, I'm not really into greens, but just lately I've been creating some really awesome green colors, green shades, and I quite like it. Funny how you change, like your taste buds change as you get older, and your kind of colors, favorites kind of change as well. Right, so they are all kind of merged together, but you can still see each color. I need to put some of that sassy red over here because it needs it. Ah, here you are, looking for you. Right, yeah, see, that just needed that little pop of red, and I'm going to put some of that burnt orange as well right here. Yep, just dipping in the brush. Needs a bit more orange there. This is going to be so interesting when it's done. I quite like the challenge of it all. And we will be adding more trees further down. I need to go further down with it, okay? So I'm just going to go more now. So I suppose you can just go blob, just pour one color and then, you know, give it a bit of a shape and then go with the rest. But we're going to need some more trees up here because you know, I can't have them all hanging up there, so they're going to be closer. They're going to be all close to us. So here we go. Just adding more. Don't worry, when I put the branches on, you'll be able to see what's what. Now I'm getting a little bit more confident, and now I can kind of just go like this. I'm just really going with it now. Might leave that gap there, and I might leave that gap there, just so that, see, adding more trees up here. Oops, you weren't supposed, that wasn't supposed to happen, but anyway, we'll put a branch there to hide that. Let's go with the green. Straight in there, not even cleaning the brush now. Once the branches come, it'll look right. So we'll see. Okay, let's go with a bit of red. Need some of that red there. See, I'm going much faster now because I'm getting a little bit more confident. I can see what it's doing, and I'm just going with it. I'm going to try and do a branch and see if it moves too much. If it's moving too much, I'm going to have to let this set and then go again. Where's that lovely orange? I did the orange already, bugger me. Okay, and the purpley one. So some have more, some have less. You just go with it. Just adding colours, that's what we're doing. And some of the gold. And try something, probably a toothpaste would be good for this. Let's see if I can do it with this gold. Might work, might not work. No, it's just not working at all. Nah, not acrylic paint. Won't do it. It's too sticky. Okay. Do the dabby thing. Quite interesting. I'm already thinking of different ways of doing this. But like I said, this is the first, and first one's always, you know, one that you learn by, don't you? Okay, so there we go. That's that. I might just torch it a little bit. Just pop in the bubbles at this stage. And where is my brown? Here we go, dark brown. Might just go and try and do, see this? Because it's so thin, it's kind of moving away from the board. That can all be fixed later, I suppose, but I'm going to try and fix it now. Also go here with this brown. I'm going to mix that orange in with it, because that was a boo-boo. Here we go. Righto, this is going to be interesting. Let's try. Branches. Actually, I should even bring it further down. Okay, let's see. It's one tree, and that there's another tree. Okay, so this is a tree over here now. I'll bring the branches down. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's trial and error. I'm gonna add a couple here that went in there. It's actually not too bad, I guess. Some here going in there. Just more here. Lots of trees. Yep, you can already see I should have started with the branches, with the tree, with the actual trunks first. That's resin for you. There's another one there. You might just get another big one here, and then we'll just do the little ones. Maybe this one can be a little bit crooked. It's like Australian trees, they're all crooked. This is actually working out really well so far. There's some trees, branches up there. Okay, go one here. There's some trees in the distance there. There's one here. I'll be adding more. Could use a brush here, but I think it's just easier for me to just go like this. The stick is helping me, so, and yes, I will be adding more of the leaves and things like that. I'm just going over there in the distance. There'll be a lot more little, just like that. They're all way up there, just all over the place, little forest. So these ones should be a bit bigger now because they're closer to us. A bigger one here. Ah, blob, another tree. Tell you what, it's different, that's for sure, but quite interesting process, that's for certain. Little branch coming over that way. Another tree here maybe. Like I said, that's going to be all covered, and I was right. So it was just something to help me kind of see where I'm going with it. And the second coat I think will help just pull it all into place and help it become something good. That one just doesn't want to go through there, does it? Okay, there's a real crooked tree there. Yeah, a bit of a shadow here. Let's pretend the sun's coming from that side. Just adding a shadow, that's all. So the way I'm doing that, I'm just kind of mixing that brown and the black, and it tones down the colour so it looks a bit like a shadow. Okay, so now that I've done that, I might just add some more trees here, just like in the distance. There's some trees there. They just look like sticks. They're just an optical illusion. You can't really. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to let it set, and when it sets, I'm going to come back and just add another layer of some leaves, and going to be using the same colors and maybe some lighter ones. I've even got some little cells happening here from that gold. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to leave it alone, let it set. I'm quite pleased with it at the moment. Not disappointed at all, because I didn't know if it was going to run all over the place for me, but it's actually looking quite amazing, considering that it's resin, and we all know about resin has its own mind. So that's it. Just gonna, like I said, let it do its own thing, and then I'll see you later on for stage 2. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.